Okay.
Okay. Upon the request of the chair of the Cabinet Committee on the proposed Bangsamoro Civil Service Code, we will now resume our session. We are actually in today's afternoon session. Our invited resource persons are different from those invited this morning. We are actually dealing with the mayors, vice mayors, councilors, barangay chairs of the region. We will no longer call the attendance because we are merely in suspension kanina. But I will recognize acknowledge the presence of our two esteemed members of the parliament. First, particularly the chair of this panel, Attorney Raisa Jadjuri. She is with us. Tinanong ko siya kung magpipreside na siya. Sabi niya, hindi pa muna. Bukas na daw siya. So I will continue as presiding chair. Now, I also acknowledge the presence and attendance of Attorney Jose Lorena. If there are other members who just attended, please make sure to remind us to acknowledge nyo lang ho. Of course, the majority floor leader is still here with us. Now, I have here the list of invited resource persons who may or may have not confirmed. Yung mga iba dito may nag-confirm kasi merong hindi nag-confirm. And iba rin yung nag-attend. But first, just to put on record that we followed the rules on notice, no? We have invited Mayor Dato Shamim Mastura in his capacity as the president of the League of Municipalities in Maguindanao. He actually confirmed that he will attend through Zoom. And ang representative niya is si Miss Amabel Abbas. I don't see him in the screen right now. Maybe later. Also, Mayor Dimnatang Pansar, the president of the League of Municipalities in, sorry, wala yung mask ko. League of Municipalities in Lanao del Sur. Nag-confirm siya and he requested to join through phone patch. I don't know kung nakakonect ba siya ngayon, si Mayor Pansar, or is not yet connected. Of course, Mayor Hani Bud, President of the League of Municipalities in Basilan. He confirmed, pero wala pa siya sa Zoom. Of course, Mayor Muhammad Mustafa Burahan, the President of the League of Municipalities in Sulu. His representative is Mr. Ison S. Asiri, the MPDC of Haji. I know if Mr. Asiri is in the Zoom now. Wala pa? Okay, kung wala pa, later. Sally, President of League of Municipalities in Pangkal. Walang confirmation. Yung number niya cannot be reached pa. Of course, Vice Mayor Tahiruddin Benzar Ampatuan, the President of the Vice Mayors League in Maguindanao. Mayor D. Tercero, the HR of LGU Mama Sapano. Nandiyan ba si Miss Tercero? Wala pa siya. Maybe later. Vice Mayor Edris Manalocon. President of the Vice Mayors League in Lanao del Sur. He confirmed through text. Pero we'll ask kung nandyan ba siya o wala. Wala pa siya. Vice Mayor Jule Kifli Saliman, the president of, nandyan siya, the president of the Vice Mayors League in Basilan. He's presently vice mayor in Isabela City. He confirmed through text, and I can see his name in the screen. Good afternoon po, Vice Mayor Jule Saliman. You hear?
Oh,
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. We are grateful for your presence here in this panel deliberation on the proposed Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. Vice Mayor Almedsar Hajiri, the president of the Vice Mayors League in Sulu. He confirmed through text. Wala, nandyan na siya? Wala pa? Maybe later. Vice Mayor Julbert Ke, the president of the Vice Mayors League in Tawi-Tawi. Walang confirmation. Councilor Mama Masukat Jr. Wala pa siya. But he has a representative, Mark Edward Lim. Wala pa sa Zoom. Councilor Sharif Ali Tanog, president of the Philippine Councilors League in Lanao del Sur. Wala pa siyang confirmation. Councilor Jaber S. Kalahal, Philippine Councilors League in Basilan. Is he around? May confirmation siya. Wala pa. Councilor Shermahal A. Hajiri, the president of Philippine Councilors League in Sulu, from the municipality of Lugos. Ano babae? He or she confirmed. Nandyan na siya. Parang nakita ko kanina. Nawala siya. Councilor Putli Aisa Matolo, president of the Philippine Councilors League in Tawi-Tawi, from the municipality of Sapasapa. She confirmed. Is she around? Wala. Barangay Chair Dato Sapak Bimidtimbang, President, Liga ng mga Barangay in Maguindanao. Wala pa siyang no confirmation.
Ikaw mag-bisa na nagkukuha na
Barangay Chair Abdul Rashid A. Balindong. Okay, ito, no? President, Liga ng mga Barangay in Lanao del Sur, from the municipality of Picong. Sabi dito, representatives will attend, but no name was given. Barangay Chair Sarib K. Ampatuan. Hataman, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. Barangay Chair Sarib K. Hataman. President, Liga ng mga Barangay in Basilan.
Assalamualaikum.
Present siya.
Yes,
Barangay
yes,
Chair Sarib Hataman. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Can you hear us, sir? Please
Yes,
say
yes.
you can hear us.
Yes. Yes.
I think i-open nyo yung video nyo, sir. Yan, I can see him. Assalamualaikum, sir. Thank you for
Waalaikumsalam.
your presence through Zoom.
Yes.
We cannot hear you.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hindi ka namin marinig, sir.
Wait.
Can you please thumbs up lang kung marinig nyo kami?
Waalaikumsalam.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Uh,
Waalaikumsalam. May nang...
Barangay Chair Nur
nandito.
Haipa A. Berto, President, Liga ng mga Barangay in Sulu.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I am acknowledging myself.
Assalamualaikum, can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. Alaikumussalam, sir.
Mag-thumbs up lang kung marinig nyo kami.
Sorry, my video is off because of the access here in Sulu are weak.
Okay. Alaman, kita lang.
Please check your audio. Can you please, yung mga resource persons, can you please say Assalamualaikum para marinig namin?
Assalamualaikum. Mr. Chair, Assalamualaikum. Acknowledging from Sulu, Federation ABC President.
Hello? Marinig niyo ho kami? Naka-mute. Sila ba naka-mute?
Gusto na ako ang pare mag-present dyan. Marul man kami na palong.
Marinig. Okay. Assalamualaikum, Barangay Chair Nur Haipa Berto.
Waalaikumsalam, waalaikumsalam.
Thank you for your presence, ma'am.
Yes, sorry I cannot turn on my video because our internet access here in Sulu are weak because of the rain.
Yes, we understand, ma'am. We will bear with you because we understand your situation.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I am acknowledging myself as one of your resource person. Thank you, sir.
Barangay Chair Hasanal Job A. Sali, walang confirmation. Let me go back to the Liga ng mga Barangay in Basilan. Can you hear us, sir?
Yan pakita rin yung sung na. Masing ito. Smooth na. Pawiyang biyang. Papagpisa raw ka na dyan sila kapag nung
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Narinig niyo po? Hello, sir. RMB ng Basilan po.
Yeah. Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, sir.
For your presence, please bear with us kung hindi tayo magkaintindihan, but I'm glad na naririnig nyo kami.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
We'll now proceed another presentation. The technical working group of the committee, the Cabinet Committee on Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. May I now ask Attorney Ampuan to start with the presentation.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you po, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon po to our honorable MPs and guests for this afternoon's consultation. I am Attorney Maimona Ampuan, a member of the Technical Working Group for the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. I will present the salient features of the proposed Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. But before that, I would first start my presentation with the limitations that were provided under the Constitution as well as the BOL. Next slide po. Next po. So, under RA 11054 or the BOL, the Bangsamoro government has been given the authority to has been given the power to exercise authority over the civil service. Under the same law, the Bangsamoro Transition Authority was given authority to enact the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code, but with the limitation that it shall be subject to the constitutional mandate of the Civil Service Commission. Next slide. Under the Philippine Constitution, the civil service shall be administered by the Civil Service Commission, and such civil service embraces all branches, subdivisions of the government. The Constitution says that the Civil Service Commission is the central personal agency of the government. This actually is reflected sa BOL, next slide, that the under Section 39, Article 7 of RA 11054, it says there that it is the Civil Service Commission which shall establish a regional civil service field office and other field offices sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. So the Bangsamoro government was given the power to enact civil service law, but with great limitation that such civil service law that it shall enact must be in accordance with existing national laws and must not be in conflict with the Constitution, national laws, as well as existing national civil service laws, rules, and regulations. So in the third paragraph of this provision, it also says that the civil service laws that will be enacted must only concern 5 coverages, 5 scopes, and that is the conduct of civil servants, the qualifications for non-elective positions, the adoption of the merit and fitness system, protection for civil service eligibles, as well as on the disciplinary authority of the Bangsamoro government over its own officials and employees. So doon po sa 5 po yung coverages natin. So under the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code, we've made reference to existing national laws, national civil service laws, rules, and regulations. So yan po yung mga reference natin. And dahil po 5 yung binigay ng BOL na coverages, ginawa po natin per coverage is a book sa Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. So the first book under the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code is the conduct of civil servants. Second, qualifications for non-elective positions, which na incorporate na din natin under that book yung adoption of the merit and fitness system. The third book is the protection of civil service eligibles, and the last one is the disciplinary procedure on disciplinary actions ng Bangsamoro government over its officials and employees. So the next slide, I'll be presenting the mga issues or the salient features na incorporate natin sa Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. And the first issue is on the localization of recruitment and placement of our employees. So we are giving, hindi natin, under the sa localization, we are not defeating the merit and fitness sa pag-hire. Ang sa atin dito is whenever there is a qualified applicant on the region, for example, yun yung preferably yung residents ng region na yun, sa region yung bibigyan ng i-recruit, i-consider for recruitment. So this is actually a product of the consultations that the cabinet committee had sa mga provinces, sa mga local government units when it had the public hearings sa provinces. The next slide, please. So, on the second issue, it is a special examination for the IPs in BARM. Ito naman is in line with the policy ng Bangsamoro government to promote inclusivity for Moro and non-Moro indigenous peoples. And because hindi naman natin we can only request the special examination sa National Civil Service Commission. So we put there that the administration of a civil service examination may be discussed at the level of the intergovernmental relations body. Next issue, please. Sa translation of civil service forms to Arabic, this is one of the talking points that we had with the National Civil Service Commission noong early 2019, which they've already approved. Nilagay lang namin na it may be translated in Arabic subject to the approval of the Civil Service Commission. This is on the appointment forms and oath of office. Next slide. On the fourth issue, we just made mandatory the general orientation for newly hired employees. Next issue. On publication of vacancies, the period of publication and posting is 10 calendar days. This is in line with the recognition that of the National Civil Service Commission that the Bangsamoro government is a national government agency. Next slide po. On Madaris teachers' eligibility and equivalency, this is in preparation for the institutionalization of the Madaris education in BARM. So Article 75 is actually a provision under the BOL that the Civil Service Commission is the one to promulgate rules and regulations to set the standards for the qualification of our Madaris teachers' appointments and promotions. But this would be based on the recommendation of the Bangsamoro government. So nilagay na din namin sa Article 77 a mention on the Madaris education as defined sa Bangsamoro Education Code because nauna nga po ang Civil Service Code kaysa sa Bangsamoro Education Code. Next slide po. Sa recognition of the K-12 graduates, this is also a talking point during the dialogue with the National Civil Service Commission, and they said okay to this because they're also going to issue a resolution on the recognition of the K-12 program. Next issue po. On CESA requirement for third level eligibility, another talking point during the dialogue with the National Civil Service Commission, ang sinabi nila dito is the third level positions in the BARM hindi na kailangan ng career executive service eligibility because those third level positions are not presidential appointees. Yun po. Unless otherwise provided by law or existing jurisprudence. Sa composition of committee on awards, this is already part of the Ora-Ora. Ang ginawa lang dito is that the composition of this committee, the committee of awards, committee on awards is that the composition, it will be composed of the senior deputy chief minister, who shall be the chairman, the Bangsamoro Mufti, representative holding a position of responsibility from an accredited non-government organization, and 2 representatives from organizations of the Bangsamoro government employees, 1 each from the second and first level positions, to be appointed by the chief minister from the nominees of their respective boards. Next issue. On nepotism, these provisions actually are already in the Ora-Ora. Ang in-insert lang namin dito ay yung sa Article 180, yung the head or chief of the bureau. Next po. That is still under the Ora-Ora. Pati yan. Sa jurisdiction on disciplinary action, this is on Book 5 of the proposed Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. On the procedure on disciplinary action. So it made clarification lang ng jurisdiction of the Office of the Chief Minister, who shall have primary jurisdiction over administrative cases or matters filed or brought before it by any person against any officials or employees of the different offices, agencies, commissions, or bureaus under it. It shall also have the same jurisdiction over the Deputy Chief Ministers, and Bangsamoro Director General of the different ministries, as well as the heads of the GOCCs of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. So the second paragraph, the Attorney General's Office shall hear and try administrative cases falling under the jurisdiction of the OCM. Thereafter, it shall submit its findings and recommendation to the Chief Minister for final action. This article is on the jurisdiction of the different ministries and GOCCs. All ministries and GOCCs with original charter shall have jurisdiction over administrative cases or matters filed or brought before it by any person against any of their respective officials or employees, except those officials mentioned in the immediate preceding section. Next issue po. On taking of solemn oath, so this is different, separate and distinct from all sa ibang oaths. Bale, this is still on the procedure po sa disciplinary action. So under this article, solemn oath shall be understood to mean a moral asseveration in accordance with a person's religious or cultural belief in the nature of an oath in the presence of a duly authorized person. So in connection with a pending case, to the effect that all statements or allegations made in relation thereto by the parties and or their witnesses are true and correct to their personal knowledge. It is separate and distinct from the usual oath or subscription made before a notary public or person authorized to administer oath. So this is different po from the oath of moral oath of moral governance, which is in the administrative code. So when is solemn oath required? So the proper disciplining authority at any stage of the proceeding may require the parties to take a solemn oath if, in his or her sound discretion, such taking may facilitate or help in ascertaining the truth in relation to a case pending before him or her. It shall not be mandatory for him or her to require such solemn oath, and the same shall not be conclusive proof as to the accuracy of the testimony or statement given. Next slide po. Who may administer such solemn oath? It will be the Bangsamoro Mufti or those he may duly authorize in writing. May administer the taking of a solemn oath in cases of Muslims. As to non-Muslims or non-Moro indigenous people, the same shall be administered by the hearing officers. The manner of taking, before an oath is taken, the administering officer shall see to it that the concerned person fully understands the consequences of the oath and that the same is voluntary on his or her part. The swearing must be in the language or dialect known to the person taking an oath. He or she shall be given a reasonable period of time to reflect upon the consequences of taking such oath. Ganun din po, ito lang still on the taking of solemn oath, mag-issue ng certification ang administering officer under his or her official seal and signature, specifying whether the concerned person actually took or refused to take the solemn oath as well as the place and date of its taking. His or her observations must also be indicated therein. The certification shall form part of the record of the case. So that is on the solemn oath. Before I go to the moratorium on the temporary appointments for a mujahideen, I would like to tackle first issue 14, that is on the creation of selection and placement board. So this is part of the transitory provision of the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code on the placement process during the transition period. It says here that the institution of a placement process for hiring of personnel during transition period, including the constitution of an interim Bangsamoro placement and selection board, shall be based on the approved transition plan. Meron na pong na-issue na BTA resolution number 90, which adopted and approved the interim composition for the RSPB. So on the issue po on the temporary appointment ng mga mujahideen, issue number 13 please. So the civil service, this bill number 59 was filed 2019, and before it was filed, the cabinet July 2020 pala na file. Sorry. So before this bill was filed, nagkaroon muna ng dialogue with the National Civil Service Commission noong 2019 on the appointments of our mujahideen. Yung una naming dialogue with them, we wanted it to be a moratorium for the mujahideen, but they say na it should be a temporary appointment and that they would be they would be issuing a resolution on the mujahideen sa pag-suspend nila on the rule on the availability hiring when there is an available civil service eligible. So na-file to noong January 2020 and na-release yung resolution ng National Civil Service which was dated August pala yung date ng resolution but was released noong September 24, 2020 saying that approving that temporary appointments for the mujahideen. So sa resolution na yon, I will read a part of the National Civil Service Commission resolution. Sabi dito that the commission recognizes the intent to include a special provision for the mujahideen in the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code as a means for rehabilitation and development of the Bangsamoro government enunciated under Section 1, Article 14 of RA number 11054. Hindi ko mahanap. Yung sa ano ulit. Yung may green. Akin hanapin ko. Ano ba yun? Lang kasi. So, wala yung highlight. Sorry, hindi ko na-prepare. So, bale, itong article na to was based on the talking points that we had with the National Civil Service Commission. Hindi pa na-reflect actually dito. Kasi na-file siya, tapos dumating yung resolution. So, hindi pa na-reflect yung resolution issued by the National Civil Service Commission. But after na-release yung resolution, the technical working group met and are proposing an amendment to this provision, which I will read if it's okay. So, yun po. So, meron pong National Civil Service resolution approving the temporary appointments for the mujahideen po. And hanggang dun lang po ang aking presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Ampuan. We acknowledge the presence first of the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Tourism. Hindi ko na-mention kanina. Nandito siya. Of course, the other lawyers, MP Ampuan, si Solicitor General, si Attorney General nandito na ulit. Si Dat Sangkula nandito rin. Now, some of our invited resource persons have already appeared. Their presence have already appeared in the Zoom. Okay, Mayor Dato Shamim Bimastura, his representative Ms. Amabel Abbas is already with us. Ms. Amabel Abbas, can you please open your video? Assalamualaikum. Nandyan na siya. Okay.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Good afternoon to everyone. Mahina pong signal, sir, kaya ng video.
Okay. Pero naririnig mo kami, ma'am.
Opo, sir.
We thank you for your presence. Mayor Hani Bud. Brother Hani. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. From the municipality of Maluso in Basilan Province. This is your brother,
Municipality.
Hindi ako magpakita. Sige na. Makita mo ko.
Ma'am Amabel, can you please mute yourselves muna? Mayor Hani Bud, we are your president. Thank you for gracing this panel deliberations on the proposed Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. Of course,
my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Salamat ho. Mayor Muhammad Mustafa Burahan, his representative, Mr. Ison Asiri, is also with us. Mr. Asiri, assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
We are honored by your presence, sir. Thank you. Pero kanina daw, kaya lang nawala. Of course, I failed to acknowledge the presence of Vice Mayor Julkipli Saliman. Vice Mayor Saliman, we are honored by your presence. Isa Jiri pa, no? Tapos na. Okay. Of course, si Brother Barangay Chair, Abdul Rashid A. Balindong, represented by Miss Jamilaila Abubakar. The Barangay Chair, si Barangay Chair Abdul Rashid Balindong is the president of the Liga ng mga Barangay in Lanao del Sur. She is ably represented by Miss Jamilaila Abubakar. Assalamualaikum, ma'am. Naririnig nyo kami? Nawala? Sige lang. Now, the next part in our panel deliberation is supposed to be, of course, presentation by the resource persons of their position papers, kung ano yung perspective nila doon sa draft Bangsamoro Civil Service Code, because this draft have already been furnished to them. So, mga ilang araw na, tagal na. Yeah, the last week of October. So we are expecting that all these invited resource persons have already made their views or written down their views in a position paper. So, yeah. Later. Ready na ho ang mga resource persons with their position papers. Let me ask first Miss Abbas of Sultan Kudarat. Yan sa LGU, Sultan Kudarat. Yan. Miss Amabel Abbas. Okay, we proceed. We acknowledge also Mayor Attorney Jimmy Pansar, President of the League of Municipalities in Lanao del Sur. Mayor Pansar, assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
We are honored by your presence, sir. We thank you for attending this panel deliberations on the proposed Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. We are really honored with your presence. We would like to hear if you have already your position paper, since the draft have already been sent to you weeks before this meeting. Mayor Pansar? We will get back. We will get back to Mayor Pansar later. Brother Hani, Mayor Hani, meron na ho ba kayong position paper dito sa with respect to the draft Bangsamoro Civil Service Code? Wala pa yata. Parang hindi maganda signal eh. Okay, Mr. Ison Asiri. Assalamualaikum. Hindi nila tayo naririnig. One minute suspension, i-test ko lang ha. Ma'am Susan, naririnig nyo kami? Mr. Ison Asiri, can you hear us? Wala. Balikan lang natin ha. One by one natin. Vice Mayor Julkifli Saliman. Assalamualaikum, sir. Can you hear us?
Good afternoon po.
Assalamualaikum.
Hello.
Vice
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chair. Umalis po sa clip si Vice Mayor Saliman. May inasikaso lang po sa clip. Pero I can, he told me to join with you for this afternoon's event.
May position paper na kayo, sir? With respect to the draft Bangsamoro Civil Service Code.
Hello?
Can you hear us? Wala. Okay, we will go to Councilor Shermahal Hajiri.
In behalf po, yes sir, yes sir. Good afternoon po.
Yeah,
Naririnig niyo
assalamualaikum.
po ako, sir.
Yeah, pero chapi-chapi ho kayo. We will get back to you, Vice Mayor Saliman. We will now proceed with Councilor Shermahal Hajiri. Ma'am, assalamualaikum. Wala pa rin. We will now go to Barangay Chair Abdul Rashid Balindong. The representative is Ms. Jamelaila Abubakar. Assalamualaikum, ma'am. Wala pa rin. Okay, we go to Barangay Chair Sarib K. Hataman. The representative is Mr. Abdul Halim Annawi.
Hello, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon ho. Meron na ho kayong, nakita niyo ho yung presentation?
Nakita ko po yung sa sa kalagitnaan niya. Actually, si Board po yung nag-attend kanina nung umpisa. Opo, nabutan niya yung umpisa niya tapos umalis na siya. Ewan ko, baka may ano din ata yun siya. Sabi niya ikaw na mag-attend. Nabutan ko po yung kalagitnaan ng presentation.
Meron na ho kayong position paper with respect to the draft kasi binigay na ho sa inyo itong draft na to about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Meron na ho ba kayong position paper or anything na comment, view sa draft nila?
Walang iniwan si Board. Ito position natin sa Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. May nabanggit na yun nabanggit niya.
Wala pa?
Hello, Mr. Chair?
Yes?
Wala pong, parang hindi ko po alam kung andito na. Basta nabanggit ni Sir Sarib nung nakaraang linggo. Parang mayroon ata yun, iwan ko lang, hindi ata niya naiwan ngayon.
Okay, we will get back to you, sir, later. Please stay with us. We will get back to you later.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Chair Nurhaipa Berto. Ma'am.
Yes, hello. Yes, hello. Hello, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Assalamualaikum.
Alaikumussalam, Mr. Chair.
You have seen the presentation coming from the technical working group. May we...
Yeah. Yes po, I've seen that, sir. But as I've said po, the slides are not so clear because of our heavy rain here. Opo, yes, we have poor access here of internet, sir, as of now, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Hindi nyo nakita, hindi maganda yung presentation dyan kanina?
Yes, it is on and off, sir. But Mr. Chair, I would like to ask from the host po if they can send me through my email the slides.
Yung slides, they will send later. But the
Yes, Mr. Chair.
draft has been given to you.
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
So, meron na ho kayong position paper sa draft ng cabinet committee?
I will check it for it, sir, Mr. Chair.
You will submit?
Yes, I will check even and submit for it, sir, Mr. Chair.
Sige ma'am, we will get back to you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Sukran.
Okay. Si Miss Amabel Abbas, nandiyan na ba siya?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum.
Good afternoon, sir. Alaikumussalam. Sir, regarding sa position paper, sir, wala pa po, sir, kasi ngayon ko lang po ako na-inform regarding that, sir. Bali, isusunod na lang po namin.
So you will submit your position paper?
In the coming days, sir, ipiprepare pa po.
Deadline. Friday. You have Friday, ma'am, sa deadline?
Friday?
Office,
Can we have it next week, sir? Kung pwede po.
Yeah. The last day... Hello, ma'am. The last day for submission will be on Friday.
Friday. Okay, sir. Okay po, sir.
Until business hours, 5 o'clock ho.
Opo, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Mayor Jimmy Pansar. Assalamualaikum.
Send masaya ni Juan, no?
Mayor Jimmy Pansar. Assalamualaikum. Wala, hindi pa makonect. Si Mayor Hani Bud. Assalamualaikum. Nag-yellow kanina.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah, Mayor, assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Medyo fluctuating din yung yung connection namin ngayon. However, I'm still on the process of reviewing actually since you sent the document few days ago. I just actually wanted to listen from among the various speakers, and then thereof I just would like to react on their presentation. So I'm just monitoring actually.
Yes, have you seen the presentation coming from the technical working group?
Partly because I log in somehow late earlier, but rest assured, I'll be monitoring the rest of the proceedings at Attorney MP.
Yeah, doon sa naabutan nyo, you can actually comment. We will allow you to comment doon sa naabutan nyo na presentation, or we can give you the option to submit na lang your position paper including what you will consider doon sa presentation nila, because we will email to you the presentation coming made by the technical working group.
Actually, I would appreciate it, if you can send all the the presentation, and I will refer the documents to my legal team, and then eventually we will just email our position. But so far doon sa naabutan ko, I concur with the draft that first and foremost we should consider the merit and fitness of the applicants on the hiring and recruitment, because we cannot afford that Bangsamoro will be looked upon by the rest of the part of the country. If we will lower the qualification requirement, I think that would give not good impression from outsiders. So we should be likely consider also the national guideline based on the Civil Service National. So I actually appreciate all those drafts so far. So yun na lang siguro, Brother MP, kasi may legal team din ng munisipyo, and if you could give us some time to make our position paper later, I think we will just send it by email, Brother MP.
Okay, that would be good for us, brother. However, the deadline we have set for submission of position papers will be on Friday, business hours, 5 o'clock ho ang deadline. Can
okay,
you...
Noted po. Inshallah, we will make it before, on or before Friday.
Thank you ho, Mayor Bud. Now, we go back to Mr. Ison Asiri. Ha? Natawag na. Magsasubmit daw sila. Sabi niyo, magsasubmit siya. We will just go back. Parang naputol pala yung kanina. Putol yung kanina. No? Yes, we will go back to Mr. Ison Asiri. Assalamualaikum, sir. Wala pa rin. Now, Barangay Chair Abdul Rashid Balindong, represented by Jamelaila Balindong. Assalamualaikum, ma'am. Wala pa rin. Nawala na naman.
Yes, sir. Waalaikumsalam, sir. Sir, hello. Hello, sir.
ma'am, for gracing us.
Hello,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, ma'am. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. I'm sorry, I'm having mahina po kasi yung signal namin dito. So, by the way po, I will just tell to Honorable Abdul Rashid regarding the yung napag-meetingan po natin. So, para malaman din niya po. And then, I will tell him to submit any paper para po sa from the
thank you.
From the chairman. Apo.
Okay. Thank you po. Ang deadline ho ng submission ng position papers will be on Friday this week. That's anong date yan? Paki-check yung date. That would be on November
13.
13th ho.
Noted po. Noted.
Yeah. We will be expecting your submission until 5 o'clock ho in the afternoon of November 13th. Okay na ho tayo dun, mama?
Sure po, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Po. According to, we go back to Vice Mayor Kipli Saliman. He actually sent, sa chat, sabi niya, they are in the process of drafting their position paper. They are not yet done with the paper as we just finished our budget hearing, sabi niya. And they will submit their position paper anytime this week. If he can hear us, Vice Mayor Saliman, the deadline po is on Friday, November 13, 5 o'clock business hours. And we will say, our secretariat will send the email address to you for submission.
Yes, sir. Natanggap na po namin. We will forward our position paper within this week po.
Thank you, ho. Thank you, sir.
Yes po.
How about Barangay Chair Sharib Hataman? Nandyan na siya. Online na siya. Yes, sir. Barangay Chair Sharib Hataman. Assalamualaikum. Can you please unmute yourself, sir?
Unmute.
Yan, okay na. Naririnig namin kayo, sir.
Assalamualaikum, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Saan ba yan? Ito na.
Yes, assalamualaikum.
Actually, hindi po bumalik si Sir Sarib. Subukan ko bang tinatawagan regarding sa position paper pero hindi pa siya sumasagot. Baka nasa meeting din ata, sir. Anyway, halimbawa pag sabihin ko lang sa kanya kaagad tungkol sa position paper. The deadline will be on Friday, no? Sabihin ko lang si Sir Sarib, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You are Mr. Abdul Halim Anawi, no? Mr. Abdul Halim.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, ho.
Sige po, sukran.
Sino pa? Si Mayor Jimmy Pansar, bumalik na? Wala pa rin? Wala pa? Mayor Jimmy Pansar, assalamualaikum. Mayor Jimmy Pansar, assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Wala pa rin. Balik lang tayo.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Sir, medyo putol-putol ho yata ang signal natin.
Mahina at ang signal mo yun.
Naririnig na namin kayo, sir.
Sa nag-aalok, di na kabaghan. Di mo ang bayot mo ng baby. May kurang?
Assalamualaikum. Mayor Pansar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are honored by your presence, sir. Wala pa rin.
Sir, nawawala.
Yes, sir, we in view of the condition, internet condition, we will just ask you to submit your position paper on the draft Bangsamoro Civil Service Code, if that is okay with you.
Nakita mo, inamong gikuha niya, draft civil service code, inamong position paper at amo na yung kiwang kain na.
Okay na, we will, the deadline would be on Friday, November 13. Okay na ho ba
Yes,
tayo?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will just prepare my position paper and to be submitted to your office.
Yes, sir.
Mahina
That
kasi
would
ang
be,
signal.
Baby bulat yun, no?
sino pa ang hindi na ano? Yung sa Mama sa Pano, Vice Mayor, kay Mayor Tahirudin Benjar Ampatuan. Bumalik na ba? Wala pa? Oo. Wala pa. Yan o. Yan o. The representative of Mayor Tahirudin Benjar Ampatuan, Miss Teres Claire Tercero. Ma'am, naririnig niyo kami? Sorry, hindi tayo naririnig. Anyway, dahil ho hindi maganda yung signal, we will just announce here that all of those invitees and all of those who may have any comment on the presentation of the Nandiyan na siya. Yes, ma'am. Naririnig nyo na kami. LGU Mama sa Pano. Mr. Zero. Wala. Nag-yellow kanina yun eh. Actually, nakahang eh. That all of those invited resource persons may submit their position papers and comments to the draft Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. They have until Friday, November 13, to submit their draft comments and position papers. I hope this heard by them, no? Live man tayo, no? Live tayo. So, walang lusot, narinig nila lahat. Nakita nila. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you po. LGU Mama Sapano. Salamat po. Now, we can now excuse them, no? No? We can now excuse them. We will now excuse all members, all of those invited resource persons. Hindi na ho namin kayo patatagalin dito sa meeting na to. Considering you also need time to prepare for your position papers. Thank you ho sa inyong pagdalo, especially to Mayor Hani Bud, to Mayor Jimmy Pansar, and the rest of those who we have invited. Maraming salamat to sa inyong presence. We were honored by your presence in today's panel deliberation on the draft Bangsamoro Civil Service Code. Maraming salamat po. We will go on a 5-minute break para maka-prepare tayo. We can set ourselves for further deliberations among the panel members. Thank you.